card limit wouldn't allow me to spend past like 5K a day, for example.
The bank was like, what the hell are you doing, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Will Berry is one of my students. He's been my student for a couple months now, I believe.
Oh no, almost like 6 months now.
Oh yeah, well, you popped your winner a long time ago already.
Yeah.
You're one of my first students. But since then, you've had a store that's surpassed multiple six figures in revenue. Soon it's going to be a 7-figure store. And now you're moving into the branding part of the business, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Cool, man. Just to start, how old are you? Did you go to university? What's your background like?
Yeah, I'm 22. When I started this program, I had just graduated college. So I was an engineering student, computer science, and then I had some time off before I started work, and I said, what better time than to start building a kind of business, and this is just kind of what happened.
Awesome. Yeah, so you're engineering or computer science?
Yeah, I was computer science.
Computer science, okay. So you do have a little bit of a background with computers, but not so like the business side of things.
Not at all.
Before you joined the program, what was like your experience with business? Did you look into other programs before that, or did you just do some research on YouTube? What was your experience like, or did you just hop in cold turkey?
I had just known that I wanted to start a business, and e-commerce was kind of one of the most viable options, in my opinion, that didn't require a lot of overhead capital to start, and it was kind of one of the easiest, lowest barriers to entry of a business that you can make online right now.
Yeah, that's exactly why I started. It's because the low barrier to entry. All you need is a laptop. You can learn everything from your laptop, and the low startup cost, like extremely low startup cost. Other online businesses, they're still all low, but this business model, e-commerce, is the lowest. Like, you can start off with all of the tools that we have nowadays, with all the suppliers available to us, direct sourcing. You can literally start a business for under $1,000.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's good to have some more capital to start off with in the beginning.
Which is perfect for a beginner. If you're like me and you don't like a lot of risk involved, especially if you're just starting out your first time business, I would say this is one of the best options to explore.
Exactly. And it's one of the best ways to learn business overall.
Yes.
Like now, like I'm sure you just have so many business ideas. There's so many businesses you can tap into now.
Yes.
Because of e-commerce and what it taught you. And it just forces you to learn everything all at once. Right?
It does.
You have no choice. You're in there. You start making sales, and you just got to adapt and start building the business and continue building it.
Yeah. That
leads to this question is, so you're in my program. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks in, right? And then you popped your winner.
I'd say it was more like 2 months in, but yeah.
Oh, 2 months in.
That.
Okay. So it was 2 months in, but how many products did you end up testing? Because you could have tested that amount of products in a way shorter amount of time, right?
Maybe, but I think it's a learning process.
Yeah.
I tested about 6.
Okay.
6 products.
So you tested about 6 products, and that's probably less than a product a week, right?
It just depended on the weekend. Sometimes I was testing 2, sometimes none, but I was like consistently every week working towards finding new products, and I would test them only if I was very confident that these could be potential winners.
And that's kind of what I teach. Well, it is what I teach, and what I stress a lot to all my other students is always try to figure out the quality before bringing on the quantity. Because if you don't bring on the quality first,
yes,
you're going to miss out on so many opportunities because you don't give them the proper chance that they need,
yes,
to show success. So that's really good. And that's an extremely good ratio. Like even pros, like even people that are in the dropshipping business or e-commerce for years,
yeah,
most of them still can pop a winner under 10 products tested. So that's really awesome, man.
And even for me though, like product research was the piece that I struggled with the most. And I'd say it's the piece that requires the most kind of eye and just overall learning from your mistakes of each past test and really studying those every week.
Yeah, exactly. So how testing works and how I taught Will is because obviously if you're not familiar with this business when you're watching this, the way this business works is you need to find a product that is going to sell consistently to be profitable.
And one of the best tips I think that you gave me overall for finding a winning product It's look for something that people will use every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically just that they'll use it every single day. And that's how you know.
There are multiple different indicators, but a product that people want to use every single day and it's life-changing and it has a wow factor and it clearly shows the before and after of what the product does. Those are the products that sell the best.
Mm-hmm.
And how you find these products is you're obviously going to find multiple of these products. Not all of them are going to sell as good as others. But to find these products, you got to constantly test if they're going to work. So you basically spend a small budget of on ads to promote these videos. These videos basically promote the product. And if the results happen through those tests, where it shows consistency and profitability, then you have a winning product. And so when you test these products, you're testing multiple different marketing angles, multiple different ads. And because the reason why we make sure that we put quality in before quantity and testing a lot of products really fast is because you want to give each product the proper amount of opportunity.
Yes. Consistency is the biggest thing probably.
Yeah.
If you have a winning product, it's not going to be doing some days with a bunch of sales and some days with zero. A winning product will stay consistent and have pretty stable output for the amount of ad spend you're putting in.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll know exactly when you have a winning product.
Yeah.
So you pop that winner, and how fast did you end up scaling? How fast was it till you passed 5 figures and then reached 6 figures in sales?
Gosh, I can't even remember. It happened pretty fast, honestly. I think by the time we found that it was a winner, by the next weekend, we were already hitting 1K in revenue days. And then by 2 or 3 weeks later, maybe it was around a month, we were already up to 10K revenue days. So It happens fast. And if you use the proper kind of scaling techniques, it happens quickly.
Exactly. And there were some cash flow problems in the beginning, right? You couldn't afford to scale as fast as I usually scale. And I remember I was pushing you to scale, but obviously in the beginning, you're just not used to starting a business literally from zero to like $200,000 a month in revenue.
It's weird going from spending, let's say, $100 on a test to spending $5,000 a day on ads. It's a very different magnitude of spend, but we figured out the spend issues.
Yeah.
One of them was just that my card limit wouldn't allow me to spend past 5K a day, for example.
The bank was like, what the hell are you doing, man?
Exactly.
Because you just literally went from spending just on groceries and stuff and rent, and then all of a sudden you're spending $5,000 a day on ads, another $5,000 a day on cost of goods to ship the products out. And it is really scary in the beginning, and that's one thing that you need to understand in business. And it's a lesson that everyone learns in this business. Is money is just a tool.
Yes.
And once you remove all the emotional side from money, it's literally just like trading cards, or it's literally just
it's leverage.
It's just leverage. You're using it as a tool, and you don't want to be emotionally attached to it. And this is a prime example. Spending $5,000 a day on ads is it's crazy. It's unheard of. If you told that to someone that doesn't understand this business, they'd be mind blown that you're spending that kind of money. But it's awesome. It's basically just a money printer at the end of the day. You put money in and more money comes out.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind, you're also getting X amount of return on that in profit every day. So it makes sense to keep upping your spend if you're seeing half of that return to you every single day in profit. It's not as scary as it seems. You're more okay with spending that kind of money every day.
Exactly.
But that's the fun part. Scaling is the fun part. The product research is the less sexy grind part.
Yeah, but all together though, because the more reps you put in, the more you learn, the more work you put in, the more money that you'll eventually make anyway. So as long as you believe that it works, the process works, it's just a matter of time before you hit that winning product.
It's a matter of time. And I had on my Notion, my notepad for my product research every single day, I had a quote that said, it's not a matter of if you'll see success, it's a matter of when.
Exactly. I don't even remember the last time I said if. I just that's one thing I trained my mind in the very beginning. I'd always say when, no matter what.
It's
always when.
If you stick with it, you're dedicated, and you're learning from your mistakes, it doesn't matter who you are. It's a matter of when you'll be successful. It will happen.
And just tell us where you're at right now, revenue-wise, and then what you're doing currently with the brand and what are the next steps.
Yeah. So this is one thing I didn't anticipate when scaling a store, and this is also helpful advice that you gave me, is that business isn't always linear. It can follow periods of extreme growth in revenue. And then, for example, in the case of our product, I'll give a rundown. First 2 months, for example, we were scaling to crazy high numbers, both revenue and profit-wise. And then after that, business is a big competition. People are watching. And so there was more competition hopping in to this product, for example, that I was scaling. The market was becoming a little more saturated. And so slowly over the course, it's been about 4 months now since I launched the store. The last 2 months have been a slow kind of decrease in our total market share for this product as more people are hopping in. So we see both the revenue and kind of profit from that decreasing. But that's okay. Competition is good. It's validating that you have a product that is viable, that is useful. And so the solution for this, and that's the phase that I'm in right now that we're trying to solve, is recapturing that market share. And it all goes back to proper branding and proper advertising. And those are two things that I kind of underestimated when starting this store, is that your brand is everything. And that should be honestly one of your main considerations as you go forward with this scaling process. So we're trying to recapture the entire market share for this product. So now my main focus is, rather than running ads, scaling product research, my main focus is now are in advertising or in custom manufacturing and warehousing, like fulfillment, those kinds of things. So your priorities do change as your business evolves. And
yeah, if your priorities aren't changing, that means you're not growing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome, man. And you just ordered in the first bulk order of inventory.
I did. From a Chinese manufacturer, we put in a custom order. We changed up the kind of branding on our product, as well as got packaging that was branded for ourselves. And our plan with that is to now go crazy hard onto influencers and finding people to promote our brand, so that we are the #1 go-to brand in this space. And hopefully that helps us to recapture some of the lost market share that we've seen with competitors hopping in on this scene. But yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, and just a quick rundown on the plan with influencers. So you're gonna get these units in. They're all branded. They all have packaging on them. There's thank you cards included in the packaging that show competitions to make content with the product and post it on your own social media for a prize.
Links to our socials.
Links to our socials. And then all of this is going to play a part in a lot of word of mouth and free exposure, pretty much. So all of these products, a huge amount of these products, you're going to send straight to influencers, like even right off the bat.
For free.
You have a list of influencers that are micro-influencers, not big ones, so they don't expect money from you. But micro-influencers around 10,000 followers or less, and you send them these products for free, just for a video in exchange. And let's say you send it to 100 influencers. That's insane reach, especially when they post it on their own social. And then you also have this insane amount of content, UGC content, that you can use for advertising.
And if one of them goes viral, it was all worth it. Sending it out to 100 people, 1 or 2 videos go viral, then that makes the sunk cost worth it.
Exactly. And what is the product cost right now of each unit?
So right now, on our end, to purchase the products and to fulfill it, including shipping, is around $15.
Exactly.
We're selling it for around 40 is our AOV.
And so $15. So if you send out 100 units of this product to influencers for free, that's the only cost. You're shipping $15 a unit. That's a total of $1,500 for possible insane, like that could probably bring in $100,000 in revenue potentially.
Yeah.
So $1,500 to $100,000 back. It's a pretty good deal if you ask me.
Yeah, if we do it right.
Awesome, man. So your brand is killing it. Now you have these skills to even make a new brand here in the future. And also, obviously, the main goal is to scale this brand further and eventually even have it exitable. So you can sell it for 7 figures or more. Cool, man. So enough about your brand. Now let's get more into kind of like the mindset and what kind of got you into this in the first place. In the beginning, did you end up watching any other YouTube videos or anything? How did you come across this business model in the first place?
That's a good question. So at first, I think I was researching, like anyone else, just ways to make money online. You hear of all these different business models online, and honestly, for the average entrepreneur now, it's never been easier to make money online. We have unlimited leverage from our laptop, so I don't think anyone should have excuses as to why they can't start a business in today's day and age. It's never been easier. But with that said, or maybe I should, like you always say, it's simple, but it's not easy to create a business that's
it's
going
going
to
to
be
be
doing well.
tough. Like anything that you build, no matter what, there's always going to be challenges. And with challenges, that means it's not easy if there's challenges, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you believe that the process is simple and you're able to follow a process and continue following the process until you succeed, it really is just simple, right?
But I think for me, so I was researching maybe drop shipping, just like online stores for about 6 months to a year before I actually took any action, which I think a lot of people do. You like research things before you end up taking action. A lot of people never even get to the place where they're willing to make those first steps and take action.
Yeah.
And I was listening to podcasts, for example, on drop shipping. My biggest struggle with looking all this stuff up online is that everyone has so much to say. You Google a topic and there's like 20 different methods that you could be using.
Yeah.
And none of them are super tailored towards one concrete successful method, which bothers me because I'm a very process-oriented person. I like having things clearly laid out and defined so that I can follow that plan and really learn from it. But online, it was just a bunch of information. So when I came across your page on like, I think it was back in the day, like you were just starting to blow up on TikTok, and all of your videos were these super like helpful tips on starting your first store, finding products, scaling them fast, and
basically simplifying the process, right?
And simplifying the process. That was the biggest thing.
So
and
I remember there was like a lot of my videos that did the best on TikTok.
Yeah.
They basically showed every step of the business in like 30 seconds.
Exactly, the full cycle of like X, X, X. And I was like, holy shit, I can actually see the full circle of how this is working. And also the biggest thing that actually made me like join this course or be more invested is like when I was asking a question in the comments or something, like you would actually answer and be like, okay, so try this way, or like actually respond. So I think it's super helpful to invest in some kind of help or course that will actually give you personalized advice towards these things, because it's easy to lose momentum and it's easy to start a business, and then once you run into your first one or two roadblocks that you can't find answers for online, let's say, to just quit. So for me, the only reason why I was able to do well is because I had like personalized help along those steps. So you don't have to, for example, buy a course in anything that you're doing if you don't want to.
It's just going to take a lot longer and a lot more work because you don't know exactly what to follow.
Exactly.
And you're going to have to go through all the trial and error. Basically, buying a program and learning from someone or having a mentor is basically just a fast track to skipping all of the errors that they went through and all of the trial and error that they went through.
It's one of the biggest cheat codes in life, having a mentor, because these are people who have gone through the exact same struggles as you and are able to save you time along the way and give you personalized help that you need. And I think that having a mentor is a very big time hack.
Yeah, and it's just like reading a book, right? You can compare a course to reading a book. You can read a book. You can attain a lifetime of someone's knowledge, a lifetime in a few days of reading a book. All right, so what would you say is the main like motivational kind of tweak or mindset tweak that helped you across the finish line?
Yeah, for sure. And for me personally, I was kind of on a verge. I was graduating college and I was entering this life of ahead of me where I could just see a clear defined, I go to work, I work a 9 to 5 every day of the week, and I do that for, let's say, 30 years until I can retire. And it's a very linear way of looking at life, and I think it's a way that kind of bores a lot of people our age. It kind of feels like a trap, and I wanted to escape that. I don't think that your time should be sold for money. I don't think that money is something that's linear. I think that if you start a successful business, it should be able to scale you should be able to scale your money with however much effort that you put into it.
Instead of trading your hours.
Instead of trading your time at a job, for example, I do software engineering, for example. No matter how hard I work at that job every day, I get paid the same amount at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And each year. And so it just kind of feels defeating almost, because someone like me, who I like to think that I'm a pretty smart person, pretty clever, and it's ridiculous almost that no matter how hard I work in a job, in a role, they'll only reward me X amount that's already decided in a contract before you start your job. And I wanted to escape that life. And if not escape it, then at least have a business to supplement me along that journey. Like, for example, right now I'm working full time and I also have this business on the side. And when I say like my energy is so much better spent towards this business that I know is paying off for me and directly correlates with the amount of effort I'm putting in, it feels way better than trading my hours at a job that doesn't respect my time or the amount of effort that I put in.
Yeah, and so I had a kind of similar mindset in the beginning too, and I think the reason why I kind of understood that I deserved doing something different than working a 9 to 5 was just knowing what was out there. So it's just knowing what's out there is a form of manifestation. Manifestation is basically just educating yourself on what's out there so you understand what you want in life. So in my early stages, or before I even got into this, or I am very grateful that my parents showed me a few places. Like they took me to Mexico when I was young, and I got to travel a lot playing lacrosse. So it really showed me what's out there, and I saw different people doing different things, and I saw these lifestyles that people were living. And now there's literally no excuse. You don't even have to travel to see that. You can see people on TikTok, you can see people on Instagram showing this lifestyle, and a lot of people will shame that, and they'll say, oh, it's a scam, or all these people are just hyping their own life up. But it is true. There are people living like that, and we're actually driving through the Hollywood Hills right now, and it's all around us. It's actually mind-blowing if you're from a smaller town like I was from. But the moment that you crack out of that and you understand what's out there, you just basically start to think, what's the difference between that person and me? There's no difference. The only difference is they tried, right? They just tried something different.
And stuck with it for longer.
Yeah, and stuck with it until they succeeded. The only way that you will fail is if you quit. If you don't quit, you're still trying. It's just a matter of time until you hit that success.
And the limiting beliefs thing is actually huge because, for example, my family, like my parents have both worked in corporate America, let's say, for their entire life. They view work as a very much linear thing where you work for X amount of time, you retire, and that's that. And so I think for the first 2 months of this business, I actually didn't mention it to my parents or my siblings that much. I think I mentioned it to my mom maybe once and explained what I was doing, but I tried not to let their opinions on it sway me too much, because I knew that they would have told me you don't need to be focusing on this right now. You're starting a job in 2 months. You shouldn't be starting your own business, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of had to grind on that myself and just kind of rely on kind of support from, I don't know, friends or other people who are doing the same thing until I saw success. So I could actually go to my parents and say, look, this is working. This has already paid me more than 3 months of my job in the amount of time since I found a winning product. So don't tell me that it's not feasible and that it's not a reliable option.
Exactly. And you're the only person that can see your vision. No one else can see your vision. No matter how close they are to you, no matter how good they know you, you're the only person that can see what you want. So my parents were the same. They always wanted me to go to universities because they just didn't see what I saw. That's super important.
But you still don't have to be dumb about it. You don't have to drop out of school, quit your job just to see success in something. But you can stay doing both until it makes sense to go full at it.
Exactly. Now that you're in e-commerce, you have this brand and it's building, and you have all this business experience, and you could basically enter in so many different business opportunities here in the future. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What is your 10-year goal?
Jeez. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know if I have a concrete 10-year goal set out, because just in the past year alone, my kind of life has changed so much. My opinions on work and business have changed so much. But I think my overall goal has always stayed the same. In 10 years, I don't want anyone to be dictating my time, when I should be working, when I should not. I want to have freedom to decide not only where to work from, but also when. And I want a business that's running under me that I don't necessarily have to be attentive to all the steps. I don't want to have to be attentive to the entire business at every single point of my day. I kind of want to have things.
So you want to systemize things. You want to have your business automated, right?
Yeah, because when you think about it, why not? There's people out there, and the richest people in the world, in the country, are doing that exact same thing. They're not in charge of all the operations of their work, their company, on the super small levels. They're just in charge of the overall vision of it. So maybe that's kind of ambitious, but in 10 years, I don't really want to be super working all day, every day. I want to have more freedom to travel when I want, dictate my hours, and that kind of thing. So that's kind of just a generic 10-year goal. In terms of more specific, what kind of work I'm doing, that's still up in the air. There's really no saying, because every year I learn more things, and every year that makes me want to switch kind of what field I'm into. For example, in college, I switched my major twice, and the biggest kind of influence on my decisions is just kind of the work that I see my friends doing or other people working on that excites me. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I am learning a lot of skills right now, though, that can be applied to a lot of different businesses.
So yeah, it can be broad. Like you don't have to basically say a specific business, but like where do you see yourself? Like how big of a company, how big of an empire do you see yourself building eventually?
Yeah, I think in the more short-term future, maybe 5 years out, I could see myself starting an agency. And right now, I just want to build expertise among, let's say, advertising online or brand building, that kind of thing, where I can actually provide solid expertise on the matter and create an agency that has, let's say, like 50, 100 clients that I'm able to actually scale to that and provide valuable insights to people's businesses. I think that would be a very like cool avenue to eventually pivot into, but there's no saying. Right now, I just really want to be an expert at my single, I guess, store and brand that I'm running, and have a really good proof of concept there, and know every single aspect of that business so that I can be valuable to whoever I'm gonna be working with or help down the line. There's really not much more I can say on that matter right now, or more that I can predict, I don't think.
Cool. I mean, solid, man. I mean, no one will ever know exactly where they want to be, but as long as you have a plan to do something big with what you know and what you're planning to learn, that's all that matters. So for anyone that's getting into this space or trying to start any online business, what is one tip that you would give them, a beginner?
Oh geez, yeah. I would just say, hold yourself accountable. Like, don't give up on yourself. Just know that if you're working at something every day and you're learning from your mistakes of yesterday, you will see success. And don't lie to yourself either. Like, basically just don't lie to yourself. Hold yourself accountable and work towards your goals every day. And in a matter of time, you will be improved to the point where your business will be successful. You will have expertise on your business, whatever niche you're working in. And yeah, just kind of like, that sounds cliche, but yeah, don't give up.
Don't give up. That's one thing that I always told myself is, I'd always tell myself that I'm already there. Time has just not caught up yet.
Yeah.
Now you have this brand, you popped this winner. Yeah. What was your biggest revenue day so far? And what was your biggest month?
Yeah, my biggest revenue day was probably around 10, 12K in revenue.
And how much profit was that?
In profit, maybe like 2.5, around those numbers. So pretty good if you think about it. But
yeah, man, $2,500 profit in a day. It's unheard of in any job. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm hoping that it really like continues to go up from there. Like, that's not the end goal by any means, but
easily, man, easily. If you think about it, with all these other gigantic brands, there's people that are selling hundreds of thousands a day, millions a day.
Exactly.
It's endless.
And I'm trying to get there.
So yeah, exactly. So what was your biggest month then that you're now that we know that you're hitting 10K days, 12K days?
Jeez, I don't even know. I think, biggest month must have been around probably like 100K then. Like, I think we did do a month where we hit 6 figures in like sales, and that was in our probably second month.
I'm pretty sure you sent a screenshot of you almost 200K in a month.
Really? I can go back and check the numbers,
something.
Actually. Wait, I'm actually curious.
You don't even know. You're just stuck in the moment, eh?
It was definitely 6 figures, because I remember going back and checking like in the past 2 months that my store had been running, and it said I had made over $200,000 in sales, and I was like, that's insane. I didn't even realize along the way, because it's not like I'm
and I think that was in a couple months, right?
Yeah.
It was a couple months and you're over 200,000 in sales.
And it just hit me because I was looking at my phone in the past 2 months, and I never really check in on like the bigger picture. I'm usually more focused on like the day-to-day, making sure that every day is like scaling properly, the ads are running. And then I zoomed out for a second. I think 2 months had passed, and I look and it said $200,000 in sales, and I was like, that's insane. Yeah. I've moved multiple 6 figures around in the economy just from my phone.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly, man. And thousands of people have bought from your brand.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's the coolest part, honestly, knowing that like real people are provided with a product just because I put that store online.
Yeah.
It's like cool to actually say like you're changing people's life a little bit or having an impact in that way as well.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
The easiest way to become a millionaire is to change a million lives. So, with you doing 6 figures a month on average, how much profit were you making, or are you making?
Yeah, I remember the biggest profit month was around 25 grand, which is over twice of what my normal job would pay me in a month. So that's when I really knew like this has room to grow, and this has, yeah, that I was
Exactly.
in a good place.
And and if you can make $25,000 in a month, you can make $50,000 a month.
Exactly.
Just more systems in place, more advertising spend,
Yeah.
etc. It's just like building blocks.
Yeah.
It's basically just building. Cool, man. Thank you for coming out to LA. It was really spontaneous. I just hit you up and
It was. This was
I
planned like a week ago.
yeah, a week ago. I was like, hey man, I'm heading to LA. I want to fly you out and show you around,
said,
teach you
"Why
some
not?"
stuff, get you to meet some people that I know, some more e-commerce guys,
Yeah.
and then get an interview out there for you guys so that you can see a different perspective of someone else that was successful in this space.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sick, man.
Let's go.